In 2001, a group of software development professionals gathered in a ski resort in Utah, US, to brainstorm better ways of doing their professional work, and of course to ski and enjoy the vacation. The predominant project approach for developing software at that time had still been highly structured and documentation driven with heavyweight processes. Their goal had been to define an approach that is more pragmatic and will work better for their needs. So this gathering produced the famous Agile Manifesto. Let's read it. We are uncovering better ways of developing software by doing it and helping others do it. Through this work, we have come to value working software over comprehensive documentation, individuals and interactions over processes and tools, customer collaboration over contract negotiation, responding to change over following a plan. That is, while there is value in the items on the right, we value the items on the left more. This sounds great, but we need to admit it is a bit general. Maybe that's why, as a term, there are quite many occasions when agile is used to attract attention. For example, to make a given product, project or company look better and up to speed with the latest trends. Often in these cases, agile is used without any practical meaning. Hence, you need to be careful when you see it or hear it flying around with no context. Alright, so what is agile? Agile is not a specific rule, strict methodology, or a proof of high quality. It is more of a philosophy, a mindset, a general guideline of how to be more efficient when working in certain environments. Agile introduces values, as the ones in the manifesto, which can guide teams when performing a given work, be it process or project. Behind this manifesto, there are 12 Agile principles that provide more details to the concept. We will not read them here on purpose, as we will review what is most important from our perspective, project management. You can, of course, find and read the complete list in the lesson materials. Having said that, let's put Agile into our context and see how it applies to project management and also how it differentiates from waterfall project management. 1. Planning. Execution activities can start without a complete project plan. We are still talking about project management, so there will always be planning and execution activities going on. In Agile, however, the rule of starting execution only when everything is planned in detail is abolished. As we saw earlier, in certain projects it would be really difficult to produce a detailed plan, as we know planning is something that consumes time and resources. Hence, Agile suggests that when further planning is not beneficial, it is better to start execution earlier. It is accepted that the initial plan does not cover all the details and that further planning is performed later, during the execution. It is more valuable that in a short while you have a small part of the project work done rather than having a more detailed project plan. Note, we are not saying you shouldn't plan. Planning is still so important for a successful project management. You plan as much as it makes sense to at the start and then further develop or adapt your initial plan as needed. As the Agile founders put it, we plan but recognize the limits of planning in a turbulent environment. 2. Changes. Scope and requirements can be updated during the execution. Even if the list of requirements is agreed at the beginning, it is accepted that it gets updated later on. When a change emerges, instead of protecting the plan through documentation and processes, it will be much more beneficial that resources are quickly directed to whatever creates the most value for the client now. This will ensure that time and project resources are not wasted on work that has for any reason become less important or irrelevant. It is more valuable to have 30% of something useful rather than 100% of something that has become irrelevant. As one of the 12 principles goes, welcome changing requirements even late in development. Agile processes harness change for the customer's competitive advantage. 3. Collaboration. The team is working closely together. The output of any project, the product, service, or result is supposed to satisfy someone's needs. This someone is the project client, and in a software project they are represented by the so-called users. On the other hand, we have a project team that creates the project product to satisfy this need. In a software project, this would be the developers. Now, companies, especially big corporations, have rigid structured processes and rigid communication channels. This creates barriers between the users and the developers. These barriers may be even bigger if the users and developers are from two different companies. More often than not, this separation leads to lack of understanding of the requirements, miscommunications, and ultimately unsatisfied users and client. Hence, the principle here suggests not only to break these barriers, but ensure users and developers meet and interact regularly throughout the project. This would ensure that any mismatches between the needs and the actual product coming out are captured on time, and chances for ending up with a product that is not useful are eliminated. As another one of the 12 principles says, business people and developers must work together daily throughout the project. That sounds really useful. Let's go to the next lesson and continue learning about Agile at full speed. Next up, Agile project structure. Thanks for watching.